Okay, good evening, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Good evening. Okay, nobody is responding. I don't know why. Am I not audible?
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, Naya. I trust everyone on call is doing fine. Thank you for joining us. Please, can we have our mentees reach out to other mentees that class has started, and Mr. Ebenezer will be joining us very soon. Welcome to today's class. This is the 5th week of the 4th quarter of our mentorship program for the year 2023. I trust it has been a wonderful journey so far, coming up from the first week down to the second week, to the third week, fourth week, and now the 5th week. We are slowly drawing towards the end of the program, and the dynamics of the program will be changing very soon. But for now, we'll just be having class for today, and our topic for today is health business and health tourism. Our mentor, Mr. Ebenezer, said we should give him a little time, right, that he will soon be joining us. So while we wait for him and while we wait for other mentees to join in, I'll just be taking a few announcements, and then we may even just go straight into the presentation before he joins in. So first announcements, registration for first quarter 2024 is still ongoing, right? So you want to register for another course, or you have friends that may be interested in the program, classmates and or colleagues that at your different locations or places that may be interested in also learning some of the things you've learned, right? You can tell them, reach out to me, I'll send you the link, and then you can share the link with them. You yourself can register for the link. You can register for the program. Private mentorship is still, the registration for private mentorship is still available. So if you're interested in having a one-on-one session with your favorite mentor, you can also reach out to me again, and I'll share the link with you for that. And okay, like I said, like I was saying earlier, this is going to be the official, like I'll say the official last class for the health tech and law per se. The following class, the subsequent class that we'll be having will be a combined class with other mentees from other courses, right? It will be on raising capital for effective, raising capital for effective business negotiation. I think it's going to be holding on Saturday next week. So class will not hold as usual. It's not going to be the Sunday. We will not have a class on Sunday. Our next class will be on Saturday. The dates and time after the class, the dates, the time, and the new tags for the week will be sent to the group. And I trust everyone should be able to comply with that. So please, I still want to implore you to please reach out to mentees that are not currently here, so that we don't have the issue we had last week, where we had very, very low turn up in the number of mentees that were here for class. Okay. That were here for class. So, okay, today again, we would like to also ask our mentees to turn on their video cameras so that we can see you guys' faces, right? Please, we would like you to do that quickly and make sure your video is on, so that we know that you are here with us in class. Thank you, Mary. Brian and Esther, please, we also want you to join us, turn on your video camera so that we know that you are also here with us. So before we have Mr. Ebenezer, and I'm sure he'll be joining us very shortly. How was the presentation? Did you people have any issue while working on the presentation?
No, there was no issue. Although the group leader is not around, like she's not online yet.
Okay. All right. That's good. Good, there was no issue. Who is supposed to be the presenter for today? Okay, you're the one. All right. I hope you are set for the presentation. All right. So I think before we have, okay, let's just wait for more mentees to join in and Mr. Ebenezer to join in as well. Okay, thank you, Victoria, for joining us. Welcome to class today. Thank you, Brian. I trust you guys, they have been going well, right?
Yeah, it has been going well, we thank God.
It's good to hear. Okay. So not to waste any further time, right? We'll just go ahead and have our presentation for today. So please, where is the group presenter? Let's just start with the presentation while we wait for Mr. Ebenezer to join in. I'm sure he will come up with his comments when he joins in. So please, can we have the group presenter? Can we have the group presenter or someone or the backup presenter come up to present? Let's just start with the presentation always from Mr. Ebenezer.
Good evening. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Good evening, Brian.
Okay, so I'm the backup presenter for today, and I'll share my screen to start the presentation.
All right, thank you. Please do that. Okay, Brian, we are waiting for you. Please, please, can you rotate your screen so that we can get to see your screen better?
Okay. So the topic for today we'll be presenting on is healthcare business and healthcare tourism.
Sorry, we can't hear you. Please, can you be more audible?
Okay. I'm coming to this. I'm having some issues. Okay, so I'll just go on. So the introduction. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. But please, can you like move away from where you are? There's a bit of background noise, so we cannot. I think it's interrupting it. So if you can you just move a little from where you are?
Okay. So the topic for today's presentation is healthcare business and healthcare tourism. We'll start by defining what healthcare business is. Healthcare business is any business by which health facilities and services are offered by either private
Please
or
be
public
audible.
entities.
Be audible. Hello, presenter. Can you increase your voice? I'm straining my ear to hear you.
Okay. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's much better, Brian.
Okay.
Increase your voice. Who is presenting, please?
Brian.
Okay, Mr. Brian.
Yes, sir.
Please increase your voice. Thank you.
Okay, so I said the topic for today is healthcare business and healthcare tourism. So we'll start by defining healthcare business. Healthcare business is defined as any means by which health facilities and services are offered either by private or public entities to the general public. So it's basically any any business any business entity which specializes in providing healthcare
Hello,
services.
Williams.
Yes, I can hear you, sir. Yes, I can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear
Presenter,
you.
wait. Can you people hear him, or is it my? Do I have a peculiar problem?
Well, I can hear him, sir. So I think maybe it's from your end, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Okay. Continue.
Okay, so we'll start from let's just start again. Healthcare business is any business. Healthcare business deals with the provision of healthcare services. So it's basically any business entity that specializes in providing healthcare services, be it dentistry institution or anything like whether optician or anything is a healthcare business as long as you specialize in providing a sort of healthcare service. And medical tourism or healthcare tourism is a situation whereby people travel from one place to another in order to get quality healthcare services. Where people travel from one country to another, usually let's say for instance now, if in Nigeria, as we know, if maybe there's a particular healthcare medical issue that a person has that the person cannot solve in Nigeria, the person travels to the US to undergo an operation or a procedure. That is seen as healthcare tourism, whereby you leave your particular state or country or area to go to another place to get healthcare services. That's seen as medical tourism or healthcare tourism. So we'll be taking branches of healthcare business. So the healthcare business is a very vast business specialization. Now you have healthcare providers. This includes hospitals, clinics, physical practice, or healthcare professionals who directly offer medical services to patients. So that is healthcare providers. Healthcare technology. This is any business entity that specializes in provision of technology used in healthcare services. Let's say the machines, the tools, the equipment, the apparatus, even those used in research and those used in direct diagnosis and treatment of patients. The businesses that are involved in producing and manufacturing these things are also healthcare businesses. Then pharmaceutical and biotechnological organizations. These are businesses which deals in production, manufacture, or research of vaccines, medications, or anything. So these companies fall under healthcare. They provide healthcare services, particularly pharmaceutical services, biotechnological services. Then you have healthcare insurance. A healthcare insurance business is any business just like your normal insurance, but they specialize in healthcare. You have something like a HMO. Companies that run HMO, they do this is sort of like a healthcare service whereby they pay, they have like an estimated amount of money they pay on behalf of each of their employees to cover up any of their medical bills, maybe by them directly, incurred directly by them or their family members or close relatives. So any business entity that specializes in healthcare insurance is seen as also undergoing a healthcare, is also seen as a healthcare business. So you have healthcare consulting and management. Firms offering consultancy, management, and advisory services to healthcare providers, helping them to optimize operations, strategy, and compliance is also seen under healthcare business. So you have, let's say now, for instance, a firm that specializes in advising a hospital on the best business practices in terms of business, not in terms of healthcare or in terms of operation or anything. This is in terms of business, the best ways to maximize profit as a hospital or to save costs as a hospital, ethically save costs rather as a hospital. This business is also, this company is also seen as under a healthcare business. Then healthcare real estate. This involves development, management, and investing of properties dedicated to healthcare facilities such as hospitals, medical offices, and senior living spaces. Healthcare education and training. Institutions and businesses involved in providing educational training, professional development for healthcare workers, including medical schools, training programs, and continuing education providers. Something like your teaching hospitals, although they are not necessary for treating our patients, they're also for teaching the young students how to teaching the young students the medical procedures and everything. These are also seen as healthcare businesses. Then health and wellness service. The businesses offering non-clinical health related services such as fitness, fitness centers, wellness programs, mental health services, and nutritional counseling. So these people now, they are not directly involved in diagnosing of the traditional, what we know as medical practitioners, but they, as long as they have to do with your health and your wellness, they are also involved in healthcare. So challenges of healthcare businesses. You have poor infrastructure and healthcare facilities. The infrastructure is not good. There are no up-to-date machines and everything. Nothing is working. You might go into a hospital. The waiting rooms are dilapidated. The chairs, they are not chairs. They are not adequate beds. Anything. So these things are challenges that healthcare businesses face. Then there's poor remuneration and payment services for medical practitioners, mostly in government medical care establishments. So there is poor remuneration. That's why you have many of the doctors these days. They are traveling abroad. There is brain drain everywhere, and even in the medical scene, there is brain drain because the payment is poor. The payment is poor. They are not being paid enough based on their output. So this is a problem that healthcare businesses face, medical business, hospitals face. You see that there is no, even after every student every medical student in school is targeted at, okay, after my medical school, I'll travel outside the country. Nobody really wants to work in any indigenous healthcare of the healthcare business. So now the businesses have a hard time getting qualified staff to employ because they cannot pay them, and nobody wants to be employed where it's not paid satisfactorily. So now there's poor transportation and communication network, which hinders the mobility of healthcare providers and career services. So in a situation whereby there is an emergency, just like the video that Mr. Ebenezer shared to us, or I think last 2 weeks, where a company uses drones to transport medical service, transport medical products, drugs, or anything. So those kind of things they are not really obtainable in Nigeria. So like you see now, the hospitals find it difficult if they need a particular instrument or a particular organ or anything immediately. It is not readily available. So this serves as a problem in healthcare businesses. It really hinders their performance and their output. So visit of medical experts to other countries in search of greener pastures. We've discussed this one, the brain drain. There are so much unfavorable conditions in healthcare businesses, and it makes everybody is leaving the country in search of greener pastures. Nobody really wants to stay behind and develop these things. Then the medical businesses, they usually have very the problem is so much that they can't even get qualified doctors out of school that were willing to stay behind and get employed in maybe a government hospital or in any hospital at all in the country, because everything is so dilapidated. Nobody wants to stay behind. Everybody is going outside. So when everybody is going outside, there's really nobody to employ, and not just nobody to employ because of the sensitive nature of the healthcare industry. You have to employ the qualified people. So there's no really qualified people to employ in healthcare businesses. So this serves as a very huge problem in healthcare services. Then insecurity. Insecurity is one of Nigeria's greatest problems. So you see now that everybody, because the country is insecure. There's Everybody is running helter skelter. You go out, you're praying to God for to come back safely. Nobody really wants to stay in the country or be employed in the country or work in the country where everywhere is insecure. You're not sure that you can go out and come back safely. So it poses a problem to healthcare businesses because people, patients are not willing to go to hospitals where it's crowded and can be easily targets for all these maybe local armed robbers or terrorists or anything. And then even the doctors, even the nurses, nobody is willing to go to the hospital. Nobody is willing to be employed in a country whereby the government are not even passionate about securing their citizens. So then there is poor storage facilities. There are some medical equipment that require a specific mode of storage, such as drugs. There are certain drugs such as anthrax, immune globin, um, even insulin. The local insulin that used that diabetic patients use. I know of a person that uses insulin. She's told that she must keep it under a certain temperature, and where the healthcare business cannot provide such a particular facility for storing that insulin, you see that it serves as a very huge problem. So they cannot provide for storing insulin. When they know they cannot provide for storing insulin, they will not be able to like handle such patient that have such an issue. So it poses a problem on their output, on their capacity, because they cannot afford the facilities for storing a particular type of drug or organ or anything. So they will not be able to operate on it because they know they cannot store it. They know they cannot afford to store it or to get facilities that will be able to preserve these things well. So the next one we're going into is slow technological advancement. Slow technological advancement in the sense that there are not state of the art equipment. Let's give the instance of I once watched a video where a surgeon rather, that wants to operate on a particular person, he practices day and night on a stimulation. More like if wants to operate on the chest or on the heart area, there is a stimulation of how a human heart is, and then he actually does the operation on the stimulation, and then he's able to like achieve perfection before the patient is now brought in for the main procedure. So these things are not obtainable in Nigeria. You see, the more like the basic requirements of technological practice in medical field is not obtainable in Nigeria or in certain healthcare businesses. And then when people know that these things are not obtainable there, they don't go to such hospitals or such healthcare businesses because they know that they are not up to date. They are no more like standard. They are still we see them as ancient. They're still using the outdated skills. So the last the last the last challenge we'll be discussing is poor staffing of workers slash qualified workers. So you see now that because of everybody's fleeing, healthcare businesses have a hard time employing staff. So you see now maybe in a shift in a very huge hospital of like 200 wards, there might be only like 6 nurses on ground. That is not proper. That is not proper. You see that there is a big problem in employing people, and not just employing people, but employing qualified people. So in that sense now, because people know that these people don't have enough people on ground to treat me, no, everybody is scared of attending of going to such a particular healthcare business. People are scared of going to that particular healthcare business, so they'd rather maybe fly out of the country or do something else or opt for another particular hospital rather than that particular business. So such a business enterprise would suffer considerably because people have known them as not having enough manpower to attend to the the needs of the people in the hospital. So this is actually a very huge problem, a very huge challenge in healthcare business. So the next the next subtopic we'll be discussing is probable solutions to the challenges in healthcare business. So number one, you have increasing the national budget allocation for healthcare to match the global standard. You see now that if the governments are actually passionate or about healthcare development, they would actually allocate more resources to be imputed into the healthcare sector of the economy. This will help in maybe the purchasing of the latest or recent technological advancements, machines and procedures in healthcare provision and facilities. So this is like a way by which we can actually help solve the problems of healthcare businesses. When we increasing the national budget, this is peculiar to maybe government-owned institutions. In government-owned institutions, at least if they increase the amount of money which is given to the hospitals to run the hospitals, they could use it maybe to increase the remuneration of staff or to make the facilities of better standard. This will at least help the hospital in their output, in their capacity to actually provide healthcare services required by the patient. So expanding the national healthcare scheme to reduce out-of-pocket spending. Okay, now you see now that particular healthcare scheme, okay, maybe you go to primary healthcare, they tell you that they're only offering these services because it's provided, only these services are free, that the rest you have to pay for them. But if you actually increase the healthcare scheme to provide for many variety of services, some of them will tell you, I've been to a primary healthcare center before where the nurse, I don't know if it's true or not because she seemed very old to me and not knowing what she was saying. It was like that they only do malaria tests, they don't do typhoid, they don't do this one, and they don't something about maternity. The woman was just saying all sorts of things. But if we can actually increase the budget in, so as to help, because healthcare is a very expensive, healthcare is one of the very expensive sectors to maintain if you actually want to be producing and if you want your capacity to be matched with the rest of the world, you actually have to increase what is obtainable so that people would find it easy to attend to get these services. The next one is investing in training of more medical staff to alleviate the current facility burdens. So you have to train the staff. A way to solve this problem is to train the staff. If it is obtainable that in every 6 months or in every 2 years of your employment, you go on a summit, you go on a training to still keep you on par with the world standard, with what is obtainable in other parts of the world. You would see that to improve and increase the capacity of healthcare businesses. If it is made a requirement that at every point in time, so training must be done. Maybe are you a cardiologist, training, social qualification, so as to make sure that you are being kept abreast with what is happening in other parts of the world. You are not just remaining complacent. You are also still researching, further research, further advancement, further training, so as to keep your mind fresh. Because every day by day, you see that they discover new viruses, new disease, and everything. You cannot just stick to what you were taught in medical school 20 years, 25 years before. You have to keep on developing yourself. There has to be training so as to improve, even if the facilities are not there, at least if the doctors know what to do. With the little facilities they have, at least they can do something, even if it's not to cure, to manage the patient. So prioritizing continuous medical education for healthcare staff to improve their knowledge base. I just discussed this one now, that you have to prioritize their continuous education. Continuous education, not just in the sense of school, continuous education in when you have working sorry when you can get education on the job while still being a doctor, you can still further research, further trainings, further advancement, all in the just to keep you abreast and improve what you know. You improve on what you know. You don't just remain dormant. You improve on what you know, so that anything that happens, we are satisfied. We are sure that you are able to give the best, not just the best in your sense, best as a world standard. So the next point we have is improving awareness campaigns regarding healthcare advice for the population. You have to be improving health, telling people that an example is during the COVID-19 period. You saw that they told everybody, it was everywhere, wash your hands, don't do this, don't shake, avoid social distance and everything. These are actually all the businesses that are involved in advertising of healthcare awareness. They're also part of business healthcare entity, healthcare business entity, because they also help you in awareness that, oh, don't do this. If you do this, you're likely to come down with this illness. If you do that, you're likely to prevent this illness. So there has to be constant awareness. You have to keep people aware of certain trends that could lead them to coming down with one form of illness or the other. The next point is policymakers and all stakeholders in the healthcare sector should establish a government-funded social and financial risk protection scheme through a general tax financing system for the poor and vulnerable, and invest in basic infrastructure for healthcare in rural areas for quality healthcare service delivery. So there should be a sort of government-funded social and financial risk protection scheme, in the sense that healthcare should be made affordable, not just for people that can, not just for the middle class. You see the poor people, the people in rural areas, people in the village, people that people that are in very, very poor areas of the country. These things should be done. Healthcare should be made almost free. It will be made almost free for them, because the basic needs, although we have the primary health center, but they should improve on it. Or in as much as it's already been established and is running, but it should be improved. There are necessary improvements that can be done for these things to function properly. So the next one we'll be discussing is types of healthcare tourism. There are many types of healthcare tourism, but the common ones are medical tourism. Medical tourism occurs when people travel from one country to another to receive medical care. Usually, maybe because it's cheaper, or they have better standards, or they can actually, you are actually certified, or you are actually certain that these people can actually treat what you are suffering from. It is also called global health services. Medical tourism is the travel of individuals to a different country for medical care rather. It consists of treatment and surgery services. You see, when people go to a particular country that they need particular healthcare service, maybe treatment or diagnosis. You have maybe backache. You've been suffering from backache for the past how many years, and you go to maybe India or US or UK for the purpose of actually finding out what the problem is. You see that now you are going for healthcare tourism with the purpose of getting a diagnosis for that your particular situation, or you were told in your local area that, oh, you are suffering from a particular sickness, or you're suffering from a particular condition, and we do not have the facilities to treat you, but we recommend you to a hospital in UK. When you fly to that hospital in UK, you are asking for the surgery. You are going for this is a form of medical tourism on grounds of surgery, because you know that the facility at home cannot take or cannot undergo such a particular procedure. You now go for medical tourism because of surgical services. Many services can be obtained within the framework of medical tourism. Basically, medical tourism is when people travel to other countries for medical health care. So medical care, that's all you need to take out of it. That for whatever the ground you are going, as long as it's for medical care, that's medical tourism. When you go maybe from Nigeria to India, or Nigeria to any other country, for whether it be diagnosis or vaccine or surgery or anything, even for therapy. Yes, even for therapy, you have your child, and your child is behaving sort of in an unusual way, and you've done all the prayers and everything, but you want to now explore the medical scene towards it, and you go to maybe a renowned therapist in UK or any country of the world, and for just to get therapy for your child, to know what exactly is wrong with the child. That is medical tourism. Whatever be the reason that you are going to another country, you're moving from one place to another.
But please, we would like you to just hasten your presentation so that you can round up soon.
Okay. Another type of medical tourism you have is dental tourism. This is medical tourism that focuses especially on dental care. So the people may choose to travel for dental care because it's cheaper than getting such treatments in their home country. Wellness tourism. This is a medical tourism that focuses on improving a person's health and well-being. People may travel to other countries for things like yoga retreats, meditation retreats, or weight loss programs. The aim or the end point of a wellness tourism is to achieve wellness of your body, is to achieve a certain level of wellness in your health. The reasons for healthcare tourism. The reasons for healthcare tourism include cost of care. It could be cheaper in whatever country you're going to get a particular medical service. So you would travel there to get that particular medical service. That is a reason for healthcare tourism. Wait times. You see sometimes when you go to a government hospital, you have to like wait the whole day before you can get attended to. But meanwhile, when you travel outside the country, you just book an appointment and you go into the doctor. That also serves as a reason for choosing that country over what you have here at home. Quality of care, when the standards over there are actually better than what you have at home, that serves as a reason for medical tourism. Ease of access, geographic proximity, language barriers, tourism opportunities, technology, variety of service, all these serve as reasons why people actually go from one place to another in search of medical services, in search of healthcare services. Factors that influence healthcare tourism, economic conditions. When the cost of healthcare is so much, when the cost of healthcare is actually very high, but you know you can get it cheaper in a different place and you travel to that place, that serves as a factor influencing healthcare tourism. Healthcare systems, this includes things like number of doctors per capita, the number of hospitals beds per capita, and the quality of care. Healthcare policies, when the healthcare policies of a different place is favorable than what you have in your local place, and you go to such a place for medical services, that the healthcare policies also forms a factor for choosing or for going to travel to another place to get medical services. Cultural factors, this includes level of trust in healthcare systems, the level of English proficiency, and the level of customer services. So challenges plus risk in healthcare tourism. You have travel risk. In as much as you're going from one place to another, whether you're going by road or by sea or by air, there is also a risk involved in traveling because whatever means you're going to, there's always here of maybe ship is capsizing or there's airplane crash or road accident. So it is also a risk involved in medical tourism. Difficulty in obtaining visa or travel passport. Sometimes you might apply and you would not get. It's also a challenge of medical tourism. Language or cultural barriers. Sometimes you go over to a country, a place to get healthcare services, but you find it difficult in assimilating their language or their culture. So that serves as a challenge in getting medical services. Um, Limited post-treatment follow-up. So in a particular situation whereby you travel to a US or something for a particular medical service or something, and you are expected to come back after a particular period of time, you see that sometimes you might not have the finances or the opportunity to go back for a follow-up check or examination, which is actually required of you. It serves as a challenge why people don't usually go for medical tourism. Financial difficulties is sometimes it is expensive. It is usually expensive to go from Nigeria to UK in search of medical services. It's very expensive. So people just decide to settle for what they have. The safety of patients is not fully guaranteed medically and physically. There are high chances of contracting diseases in the hospital. Patients may be socially discriminated by citizens. So the safety of the patient might not be fully guaranteed in the sense that you are traveling to a place you don't know, you're not so conversant with. Anything could happen to you. You could actually have your organs harvested or things like that. So your safety is not fully guaranteed. And then the issue of discrimination, it also falls under um, language and cultural barrier. You could be discriminated in the fact that you are black or of a different race or a different ethnicity. Legal and other legal issues are also there. So solutions to challenges involved in healthcare tourism. We have establishment of a national accreditation system for healthcare facilities to meet international standards. When the local healthcare facilities can meet international standards, I don't think there's a need why such a person would travel over to a different country for a particular medical operation or reason. Requiring health insurance providers to cover medical tourism expenses up to a certain amount, requiring healthcare facilities that provide medical tourism services to disclose all risks and benefits to patients. This is also to create a sort of informed consent of the patient that, oh, I'm traveling to this place for this medical services. These are what is obtainable, and these are what the risks and the downsides associated with it. So as to make you have an informed decision as to what you're going in for. Creating a national health tourism office that can provide information and support to patients who are considering medical tourism. An office where you can walk in and ask, where can I get the best eye surgery or facial surgery or anything, and they are able to give you a list of hospitals that are actually accredited to perform such an operation on you. Such a thing helps to alleviate the risk and challenges of medical tourism. So providing patients, okay, we've made that one. Education patients about the risks and benefits of healthcare tourism so that they can make informed consent about whether or not to travel. Regulations of medical tourism. There are few regulations in Nigeria that guide healthcare business and medical tourism. One of the most important regulations is the National Health Insurance Scheme Act. The National Health Insurance Scheme Act provides for the establishment of a national health insurance scheme that is funded by contributions from employers, employees, and the government. It sets out the benefits that are covered by the scheme. It also sets out the benefits that are covered by the scheme, including hospitalization, primary care, and prescription of drugs. Other regulations include the Health Professional Decree of 1987, the Pharmacy and Poisons Act of 1990, the Food and Drug Administration Act of 1990. So all these regulations help to inform you of what is ascertainable in any healthcare businesses or in any medical tourism you're going to, what the minimum things that you should obtain and the risk associated with such a thing, the way the doctors are meant to treat you, and your rights as a patient and your duties also as a patient. So conclusion, the healthcare industry, though working for the good health of individuals in society, is still a business. You should not forget that in as much as they are trying to care for your welfare and your health, they still need some sort of profit to run, because it's not necessarily a charity organization. It doesn't get their resources free of charge from the market. They still need profit. They still need to make profit to be able to buy the little things they use in running the hospitals and paying their staff. However, healthcare industry deals with lives more with lives. The more reason is regulated by security agencies like NDLEA. Therefore, to have a successful business and growth in the healthcare industry, being aware, understanding the needs of consumers and meeting these needs is paramount. So to have a successful healthcare business, such as a hospital or anything, you must be aware of the regulations, you must be aware of the latest trends in order to meet customer satisfaction. So this is where we draw the curtain of our presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Okay.
Okay, let me just production. We would like to have
Williams.
Yes, sir.
I said continue.
All right, sir. So we want to thank Brian for that wonderful presentation, and we also like to welcome our mentor, Mr. Ebenezer. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us, and thank you for still sparing your time, irrespective of your busy schedule, to be here. We say thank you. We would just like to your discourse on the topic and on the presentation.
A note of apologies for coming in 10 minutes or 13 minutes behind schedule. I had chatted Mr. Williams to give me 10 minutes, but it took me 13 minutes to join the class. Where is everybody? We are having, all the participants are 8 in number. If you exclude Mr. Williams and myself, it means we are 6. So why are your videos off? We agreed that in my own class, you turn on your videos. Let me be sure that you're here. Okay. 3 people are yet to turn on their videos. Who and who? Ogidi. Okay. Esther Moses, Calio Victoria. Okay. Esther Moses, you are yet to turn on your video. Are you in class? Okay. Okay, good. Great. Now we can make progress. Okay, Mr. Brian. That was a good presentation. Even though from the beginning or at the exception, your voice was a bit shaky, but you pulled through. Kudos, you did well. You did well. Your delivery was okay. Now, the depth of your research, how many of you contributed to this work? How many of you contributed to this work?
Everybody, sir.
Everybody. That's good. That's good. Okay. I have gone through it. The depth of the research is okay. But as usual, there are a few corrections to be made. And just few corrections to be made. You see, I need you to know that once you are doing presentation, you are not just reading out information. Maybe I should give you few rules that should guide your research to improve the quality of your material. When you are researching, take down these principles. I'll come down to what you have presented. Number 1, authority. Just write authority. Your principles when you are doing maybe electronic research, so to speak. The thing you are saying, where are you drawing your authority from? Who said it? Is it which authority? Is it the Ministry of Health? Is it the WHO? Is it NAFDAC? Is it the Minister of Information? Authority. So have you written authority? So it means that whatever you are telling us should come from a source. 2, accuracy. If you have gotten, why I'm saying this, we will get to see some inaccurate stuffs that are here. So, 2, accuracy. Now, that authority you are quoting, that thing you are quoting, is it accurate? These are principles that we get as you are researching. You have stumbled on one authority. This thing now, maybe Guardian newspaper reported something. Yes. This thing they reported, is it accurate? Accuracy. Then you might talk about objectivity. This thing that is drawn in from this authority is accurate. Is it objective? Is it somebody's personal opinion? Is it subjective or objective? Now, if it is objective, it means that it is for the good of the nation. It is for the good of our development. It is for the good of our country. It is for the good of everybody. Now, if it is subjective, it is my personal opinion. It is to suit a particular interest I want achieved. It is to benefit a certain class of people. It is the view, the myopic view of some people, no matter how powerful they are. So it does not reach out to, it's not for the benefit of everybody when it is subjective. So is it objective? Now, how many have we written? We've talked about authority, we've talked about accuracy, we've talked about objectivity, right? Currency. Is it current? This thing I cited. Now, you cited National Health Insurance Scheme Act. Is it the current act on National Health Insurance? The answer is no. So you need to, it's not just, these are things that will guide you to get the relevant information you want. The internet, people just lump things. Anybody can post anything. But if you subject your research through this, you begin to sift out what you don't want, what is not relevant for you. So we will come back to that national insurance. Is it current currency? Okay. Is it reliable? Or even before reliability, coverage. Coverage. This thing I'm citing, does it cover only Nigeria? Does it cover only FCT, Abuja? Does it cover only Rivers State? Does it even cover only the information you read? Is it applicable across board coverage? Does it cover only a Tiosa local government area in Lagos? Does it cover only Ikeja local government? Does it apply only to Lagos State? Does it apply to the entire Nigeria? Does it cover the whole of Africa? Is it only applicable in US? So that you put context, you contextualize your research. Good. So after that, we now talk about reliability. This thing I want to put out here as my research finding. Is it reliable? We've talked about accuracy. If it is accurate and it is objective and it is current, chances are that it might be reliable. So now, how do you check your reliability? One of it is the source you are getting it from. Not authority now, source. We will get to security. Okay, that reliability, that internet platform or the website that you pick this information from, is it organization now? Then you talk about security. This is where you now use to check the reliability of your information. This security, this website that I pick this information from, is it secured? You know, when you are searching, if you type www.whatever.com, it is going to give you something like HTTPS, right? Have you seen something like that before? Now, that S means that this particular website is secured. So if you are getting your information from a secured website, it is most likely to be reliable. Now, it doesn't mean that some will not carry fake information. So I said this so that when we are doing our correction here now, you will understand. You cited some laws, I think it's under your regulation. There are a few regulations in Nigeria that guide healthcare, business, and healthcare tourism. One of the most important regulations is the National Health Insurance Scheme Act, which has been repealed. Replaced with what? What's the current law? Who knows? I've mentioned it repeatedly on this platform. What's the current law? National Health Insurance Authority Act 2022. So you don't just say National Health Insurance Act, which year? Because that's what helps you to know. So we no longer have National Health Insurance Scheme. What we have here now is National Health Insurance Authority Act 2022. So you see that if we are checking our principles now, the law you cited here is not current. It's no longer in existence. So you see that it fails our tests. So we go down again. The Act provides for the establishment of National Health Insurance Scheme that is funded by contribution from employees, and the government. It also sets out the benefits that are covered by the scheme, including hospitalization, primary health care, and prescription of drugs. Okay. Other regulations include the Health Professions Decree of 1987. Okay. Decree of 1987 is when Nigeria was under military era. You now see how far behind this decree is and how inapplicable it is today. Whereas we have the National Health Insurance Act 2014. Okay, what's the difference between a decree and an act? What's the difference, if there is any? Who knows? Hello? Who knows the difference between a decree and act, particularly my law students? Who is speaking? How come this line is stuttering? Brian, are you the one speaking?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, who is speaking? Okay. I think that's Esther. I think she's having a challenge with her audio. Okay, who knows? Who knows? Ifunanya, are you a law student?
Okay, sir. I know the difference.
Yeah, tell us.
The difference between a decree and an act. A decree is made in the military regime, while an act is made by a civilian government. But both of them are still made at the federal level
Beautiful.
of the respective government.
Beautiful. So decree is made by the military, an act is made by the National Assembly. Decrees are promulgated while acts are enacted. The military head of state can sleep and have a dream, and he wakes up, that thing he saw in the dream, he now says it's a law, and it becomes law, and it becomes a decree. Whereas under the democratic dispensation, the National Assembly will have to propose a bill. The bill will go through first, second reading, third, then the votes, pass a resolution, then take the bill to the president for presidential assent before it becomes a law. Now you see that in place of this your what's it called, Health Profession Decree of 1987, our dear National Health Act of 2014 is the most current law as far as healthcare practice in Nigeria is concerned. Now, the interesting thing about National Health Act, in section 46, mentioned about treatment abroad, which is what we are talking about today. Health tourism, is it not treatment abroad? So section 46, I'm going to read it out. It precludes or prevents governments from sponsoring government officials for medical tourism, for medical treatment abroad, without the approval or recommendation of the Minister of Health or the Commissioner for Health, as the case may be. It reads, without prejudice to the right of any Nigerian to seek medical checkup, investigation, or treatment anywhere within or outside Nigeria, no public officer of the government of the Federation or any part thereof shall be sponsored for medical checkup, investigation, or treatment abroad at public expense, except in exceptional cases on the recommendation and referral by the medical board, and which recommendation or referral shall be duly approved by the minister or commissioner, as the case may be. So if the governor wants to go abroad for treatment, with public funds, with state money. Okay, a governor of a state stayed away for 3 months on medical tourism. He just came back, and upon coming back, he didn't go straight to his state. He stayed in a neighboring state and was governing his state from there. Who knows the governor? Who knows the state? Who heard about it?
I did, sir. I think it's the governor of Osun State, Osun or yes, Osun or so. Is it Akorede? He went abroad, came back. I think he
on those states.
on those
Akeredolu wrote to me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's on those states. Good. You see, these things we are talking here is everyday occurrence. If you put your mind, if you put your ear on the ground, if you follow the news, you will just be hearing things that are happening. You will remember our class. Okay, this is what we talked about the other day. You see how practical these things are. Now, the question will now be, the governor's treatment, did it comply with Section 46 of the National Health Act? Who could guess an answer? I can sit here and tell you that the answer is no. Because the Commissioner for Health is an appointee of the governor. I can bet you it is possible that the Commissioner for Health does not know. It is possible. I didn't say he does not know. It is possible that he does not know that he has this power here to say, Mr. Governor, yes, you can go on medical treatment, but the state will not sponsor it. But the day he dreams of it, dreaming, before he says it out, he'll be fired as Commissioner for Health and another person will replace him. That's the system, the unfortunate system we run, where our institutions are individuals. So we have powerful individuals and weak institutions, such that anybody can trample on the law and nothing happens. So the same principles we've talked about applies to decree. So in place of it, we'll have the National Health Act. So the Pharmacy and Poison Act 1990 is correct. Your Food and Drug Administration Act 1990. Ordinarily, it should be Food and Drug Act. But when you say Administration Act, I doubt if that is part of the law. So always ensure any information you are putting up for us, go through this. Now, you discover that I cannot see your reference. I've mentioned it times without number. If you're doing a presentation, put your reference so that we can cross-check the veracity of your information. We can refer to, okay, this is where this man got this information. This is where this man got this information from. Someone sent in a message to obtain permission, right? Okay, let me just run through, basically, on the challenges. Risk of healthcare tourism. Before we get to challenges, factors, this is an interesting topic though. One of the challenges is that we have factors. Okay. So just give me a few minutes. Let me get my bearing. Okay, types of medical tourism. We mentioned wellness, we mentioned dental. That was last year. In fact, November last year, I was at a conference And a senior advocate of Nigeria came to, he was a keynote speaker. We're talking about health care. I belong to Institute of Medical and Health Law. Now we are having our annual conference, and a keynote speaker, a senior advocate of Nigeria, came. While he was talking, he told us a story that he had toothache, talking about dental tourism. He had toothache. He had to fly to UK to be attended to. They didn't do it well. But guess what? When he got to UK, it was Nigerian doctors in UK that were attending to him. The hospital he went to in UK, Nigerian doctors were the ones attending to him. They didn't get it right. He went to South Africa. They didn't fix it. He went to US. Now, imagine how much for each of these trips. And it is not a trip you go for today, you come back the following day. You will consider lodging. He has gone to UK, South Africa, went to US. They didn't fix it. I think, oh no, he went to UK, went to US, went to South Africa. They didn't fix it. And all the doctors in these places that attended to him were Nigerians. It was in South Africa that someone told him to go to National Hospital, Abuja. And he came back to Abuja. And he was attended to. And since the time they treated him in Abuja, he has not had that toothache. So this is to buttress the fact that our healthcare system can actually be better. We can drastically reduce healthcare tourism if the government creates enabling environments for healthcare practice to thrive. Why do I say so? Part of the challenge I listed here is when he talked about poor storage. It's not about storage facility. It is about electricity. Whatever storage facility you're bringing in requires electricity to function. Now, you know the cost of this. I used to tell people that hospitals are not charity organizations. While they are set up to save lives, they are also a business enterprise. So they must make profits. So imagine the cost of diesel, because whatever refrigerating equipment they are bringing is not going to be powered by your I pass my neighbor generator. So even if it is fuel, how much is a liter of fuel now? Some places 630, some places 650. That is within Abuja. So it is possible that outside Abuja, some places it could be as high as 700. Even within Abuja, some people are selling 800 per liter black markets. Within Abuja, black markets. Or even the roadside vendor who we go to filling station and buy, then come to the neighborhood and be selling. Some of them are selling 800. So you see that power is a serious challenge. So then you talk about the risk. You did not include organ harvest. You did not include scam. There are people, particularly India, China, there are people who pose as agents that they facilitate healthcare tourism. They can pose, get you all the documents, get you everything, and you'll be paying money. Some are so wicked that they can lure you to come over, and you get there and you become stranded. Now, for China, the cost of interpretation, they are not joking with you. So you talk about language barrier. Are you aware that documents are written in their language? And if you want to understand what that document says, you got to pay somebody who will interpret it. So it is not about just go. Now, another issue is capital flights. All the monies that senior advocate of Nigeria used to fly to UK, fly to US, fly to South Africa, those monies could have been domiciled here in Nigeria. If he, in the first place, had confidence in our healthcare system. So he didn't even attempt here because he has the money and he can afford it. But he despised our dear National Hospital here in Abuja. And after flying around the world. So the point I'm making is some of the things we rush out to go and look for, we can get them done here in Nigeria. However, it is likely to be more expensive. If it is in government hospital, you may not get it done in time because of bureaucracy, because go here and buy card, go here and fill form, go here and do this. Now, if it is in private hospital, there is a likelihood that the person who might be doing it may not be qualified as has been represented to you, not that he's not a doctor. If the person is qualified, the person might have been overstretched. Why? Because he's running 3-4 shifts. Only him is serving 3-4 hospitals. So he goes to this hospital A, does the same thing, goes to hospital B. So you discover that timing is important. Now, the way there's a lady, I think 2007, she had an accident in 2007. A hospital in Nigeria was supposed to treat her. They kept mismanaging. They contacted hospital in Ghana. When she got to Ghana, you know why? From the airport, medics were waiting to receive her. They have sent her scans, sent her documents ahead of time, her medical record ahead of time. Then when she landed, the hospital didn't wait for her to get to their hospital. The hospital came to the airport to receive a patient. And from the airport, medics took over. Now, the person is also a healthcare professional. But because of this experience, in fact, she still has other ailments she's treating. She goes to US every 6 months to receive her medication. Is it that it cannot be done here? Some cannot be done here. But the thing is, if we improve our system such that the rich among us can repose confidence in our system. Our healthcare system today looks as if it is for the poor, or it is for anybody who cannot go abroad, particularly our general hospitals. But it is not so. They have qualified and experienced doctors and nurses. All that needs to be done is training and retraining and upgrading their skill. 1. 2, injecting funds. You talked about, do you know the budgetary allocation for health? I think it was 1991 or 2005. African countries, ministers of health met in Abuja and passed a resolution and agreed as a continent that the budgetary allocation minimum for every government to budget for health should be 15% of your budget. The highest the health has gotten is 4%. So when you talk about tourism, there's a place you talked about government strengthening solution. Where is the solution? probable solution. Expanding national healthcare scheme to reduce out-of-pocket expenses. Section 11, the National Health Act has already made provision. So what you should be talking about is implementation of the existing laws. Section 11 of the National Health Act talks about basic healthcare provision fund. Establishment of basic healthcare provision fund. There is established the basic healthcare provision fund in this act refers to as the fund. The basic healthcare provision fund shall be financed from federal government annual grants of not less than 1% of its consolidated revenue fund, grants by international donor partners, fund from any other source. Now, what is this money supposed to be used for? Okay, money from funds shall be used to finance the following. 50% of the funds shall be used for the provision of basic minimum package of health services to citizens. 50% shall be used for the provision of basic minimum package of health services to citizens in eligible primary or secondary healthcare facilities through the National Health Insurance Scheme. That was when health insurance scheme was in existence. So now Health Insurance Authority Act. 20% of the fund shall be used to provide essential drugs, vaccines, and consumable for eligible primary healthcare facilities. 15% of the fund shall be used for the provision and maintenance of facilities, equipment, and transport for eligible primary healthcare facility. 10% of the fund shall be used for the development of human resource for primary healthcare. 5% of the fund shall be used for emergency medical treatment to be administered by a committee appointed by the National Council on Health. Now, you remember that Section 20 talks about not refusing treatment to anybody in the emergency situation. And the question is, if you say you shouldn't refuse treatment, even Section 1 of the Compulsory Treatment and Care for Gun Wound Victims Act talked about receiving and treating adequately persons with gunshots. Section 2 says you should receive and treat them with or without initial deposit of funds. You now see why. Because Section 11 has already made provision for basic healthcare provision funds. Ordinarily, this money is supposed to be given as subventions ahead of time to hospitals. Okay, keep this. Particularly primary healthcare. Primary healthcare are those hospitals in the remote villages. The lowest rung, we have 3 layers. We have the primary healthcare. We have the secondary healthcare, your general hospital. Your primary healthcare is what they used to call welfare center. In remote village, you just find 1 nurse or 2 nurses. Pregnant women go there for antenatal care and all that. The government is supposed to fund it by the provisions of this act. But the question is it being done? The last time we checked, last year we asked a question for this money. The then minister, not this one, told us they used it to buy ambulance. Is that what the law says should be done? They use the money to buy ambulances. So, you talk about poor remuneration. You omitted brain drain. Yes, you talked about the percentage of nurses who practice or healthcare professionals, 40 to 75% who practice outside Nigeria. It is called brain drain. There was a time, I think that was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, they announced opportunity for doctors to come for interview at Sheraton Hotel. I think it was a Saudi Arabian hospital wanted to interview healthcare professionals. The government had to rush to go and shut down that interview because of the number of doctors and nurses who wanted to leave Nigeria. The government can also make Nigeria a healthcare destination if only we can invest. We have the best brains when it comes to medicine. Outside this country, Nigerians are practicing medicine in White House. Nigerian doctors are practicing medicine in White House. Nigerian doctors. Is it not funny? So if only the government can look inwards. Are you aware that the hazard allowance of a doctor is 5,000 naira? Are you aware? Okay, you are not aware. So
I'm not aware, sir.
We need to, it's not theory, this is practical, so that you understand why the brain drain. How much do you use to buy a recharge card? Okay, most of you are students. In 1 week, how much recharge card? As I'm talking, you are laughing. Maybe all the NACA uses 10,000 in 7 days. If Naira uses maybe 12,000 in 1 week, or even 5,000. Brian is a big boy, maybe 20K. Do you understand it? Then the hazard allowance for exposing yourself to the risk of COVID, for exposing yourself to the risk of HIV, for exposing yourself to hospital infections, the hazard that comes with healthcare practice, at the end of the month, the doctor is paid 5,000 naira for that. If you are a healthcare practitioner and you see opportunity to go abroad, will you not go? So these are the factors that predispose our people. Poor remuneration. They work, they are overstretched. A hospital that is supposed to, particularly private hospitals, you can see a private hospital that has only 3 nurses. Not the big, large-scale private hospitals, of course, no. But even at that, those ones are also understaffed because they maximize profits. So they even where they are supposed to, maybe where they're supposed to engage 10 nurses, they can engage 7 or 6. So you now see these people doing the work of 10 people. So there's bound to be stress and fatigue. Then you talk about the dangers of healthcare tourism. You talk about organ harvesting. It is rife in India. In China, they steal organ, they steal it. Yes, it's in the news. So you discover that if you are going, yes, you will get what you want. You will get adequate care. You'll be treated like a human being because they know you are coming with money. But why is it that way? Their governments have decided to provide a global solution by investing in their healthcare sector. India is crazy with research. Excuse me.
Sir, can you hear us? It seems your video is frozen. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Can you hear us? Oh, I think he's having a bit of network issue. Okay. I know soon. So while we wait for Mr. Ebenezer to rejoin us, I'm sure we have started arranging our questions to ask him. So please, while we wait for him to join us, please just arrange your questions. You can even start posting them in the group chat so that once this section is over, once he's done making his observations, correction, and still the discourse on the subject matter, we can just go straight to questions. I'm sorry for the little delay. I'm just trying to reach out to him to see if he'll be able to rejoin us on the call. So please, can you just give us a few minutes to try and resolve that?
Sorry, I had a call interruption. Can you
Hey, sir,
hear me?
welcome back. Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Said I had a call interruption. Sorry about that. So you discover that we still have a long way to go. Then you talked about your regulation. You didn't mention not just regulation, there are agencies of government you need. You didn't mention the immigration service. Very, very, very key. It's part of the tourism now. Are they not the one? Is it not through the airport that you're going? Are you not supposed to get a passport? So you don't overlook that. Then in your business, the healthcare business, you omitted medical supplies, those who are into medical equipment. They are very crucial in healthcare business. You talk about pharmaceuticals, healthcare technology, healthcare service providers, consulting, management, healthcare education, real estate, but you omitted this category. Those people who sell your healthcare equipment, they are very, very important in the healthcare business chain. Then for tourism aspect of it, do you have an idea how much Nigerians spend a year on medical tourism? Do you have an idea of how much the government, or Nigerians, not the government, spend every year in medical tourism? It runs into billions of naira of people who go out. The government can look inward. Funnily enough, some of the things our people go abroad, I have said it. There is a man in Port Harcourt, Okoye. The way Nigerians go abroad for medical tourism, it is instructive that for you to know that foreigners are also coming to Nigeria for healthcare treatment. I need you to know that it is not all totally bad. It is not that hopeless, no. What I'm saying is that, but the successes we have recorded is from the private sector. People who set up, in fact, just 2 days ago, I saw a video of the first private cancer center in Nigeria. It's in Lagos. Now, these are private enterprise. If government can do the way private practitioners who invest in healthcare service provision business, because it costs millions, not millions of dollars, Peter. It costs millions of dollars to set up those hospitals. If government can invest, we can reduce healthcare tourism. Thank God you are part of this class. Some of you, your uncles are ministers of health, commissioners of work. This one was just network. So some of you, your uncles are ministers of health, your parents are commissioners of health, your relative, talk to them to make Nigerian healthcare system work. We have the laws already. So what they should just do is to implement the law as the law is, and we have our healthcare sector booming. Will it shock you to know that in the 70s, Saudi Arabia was coming to University of Ibadan, teaching hospital, University College, Ibadan, for treatments? This Dubai today that our people are going to, we're coming to Nigeria for medical treatments. So it can actually be reversed if the government does the right thing, and if we all do the right thing, and if our healthcare practitioners do the right thing by following their professional ethics. Thank you very much. Are there questions? If there are, I am ready, willing, and available to take the questions.
All right, thank you so much, sir, for running us through today's topic and helping us with the corrections and comments on the presentation that was made. Thank you so much. It was very, very insightful, and I'm sure just like me, other mentees learned a lot. So we'll be taking questions now. questions. Please, we would like our mentees that are present here on call to ask questions. Please do that. Send your questions into the chat box. Raise your hands so that we can take your question.
Where are other participants in this class? The first day we started this your set, there's a lady that presented. I have not seen her again in the class. What's her name again?
Okay, her name is Pamela. She complained that she was occupied with work and then she'll be deferring the quarter to the next quarter. So she already notified us that she will not be continuing with this quarter.
Okay, awesome. Then what about the other persons that are supposed to be here today? Last week we had only 3 persons, right?
Yes, sir.
Today we have only 6 persons.
So
okay,
we have 3 we have 3 people that are currently not on call. One of them took permission that she is currently attending to a wedding ceremony in her family, so she will not be able to go to class. But the other 2 did not reach out to me. So we'll address that, sir. All right, so please, we're still taking questions. Okay, before we have our mentees sending their questions. Sorry. Before we have our mentees sending their questions, I'll just be taking the one that they sent while making the research.
Yeah.
The question is the healthcare business similar to healthcare industry? Does Nigeria have provisions for health tourism?
Does Nigeria have
provisions for health tourism?
Okay, you see, health is life. One of the cardinal rights you have under Section 33 of the 1999 Constitution is right to life. So anybody that is sick and you want to prevent the person from going to seek medical help elsewhere, you are inadvertently taking the person's life. Do you understand? So there is no provision that stops Nigerians from seeking medical care outside. However, I just read Section 46 of the National Health Act. Government officials are not supposed to be sponsored with government money. You know that the government sponsors people for Hajj and pilgrimage to Jerusalem, to Israel. If you want to visit Israel, use your money and go. There's no problem. If you want to visit Mecca, use your money and go. So that is what Section 46 is saying. If you want to go for treatment abroad, okay, that senior advocate, I told his story, assuming he was the Attorney General of the Federation. At that moment, he had toothache. He would have traveled abroad still, but that money may be paid by the Nigerian government. So what the law says is that government will not sponsor your trip except where it is a special case. And in that circumstance, the Commissioner for Health or Minister of Health, if it is the federal civil servant, the Minister of Health, if it's a state civil servant, the Commissioner of Health, we have to approve it. Without prejudice to the right of every Nigerian to seek medical checkup, investigation, or treatment anywhere within or outside Nigeria. So the law has already recognized that you have a right to seek medical treatment anywhere within or outside Nigeria. So no law stops you, but the law is saying if you are a civil servant, Say no public officer of the government of the federation or any part thereof shall be sponsored for medical checkup, investigation, or treatment abroad at public expense, except in exceptional cases on the recommendation and referral by the medical board, and which recommendation or referral shall be duly approved by the minister or the commissioner, as the case may be. So the medical board has to refer you, and the commissioner has to approve before the government will spend their money on you if you're a public servant. That includes your president. That includes the governor of any state. But like I asked earlier, this is the law. Is this provision of this law, is it being implemented? The answer is no. Because of the kind of system we run, where we have individuals who are more powerful than the institution. So next question, does that answer your question?
I'm sure it does, sir. So we'll be going to the next question. The next question is, sir, in case of organ harvesting or any criminal activity abroad, if one wants to institute a legal action, is there any hindrance? And is it true that some countries do not have legal provision for medical tourists who are victims of crimes or unlawful acts?
That I cannot ascertain. The one of some countries not having legal provision to protect victims of crime or victims of organ harvesting, I cannot sit here and ascertain that, and I can such discriminatory law that will say if you come into our country for medical treatment and your kidney is harvested, that's your business because you are not our citizen. But if a citizen's kidney is harvested, then we can do something about it. I will research into it, and maybe in our next class, I will have a position on that. But for now, I cannot categorically say yes, that there is. But I will research to have that. In fact, if we come next week, remind me to give you an answer on this. The countries that protect, or the countries that do not protect immigrants or visitors or health tourists who came to receive healthcare in their country. I will check, I will run a check and find out if there are such laws, and we look into it. For now, I cannot say yes or no.
All right, sir.
Next question.
So we're still taking questions, but I would like to ask a question.
There was one I didn't answer. You say whether healthcare, something industry. You asked that, then
Okay.
you asked the second question.
Yes, the healthcare business. Is the healthcare business similar to healthcare industry?
Okay. Now, the healthcare industry is broad. When we talk about healthcare system, when you talk about the healthcare industry, it is very broad. Everything that has to do with health, everything. But when you talk health system, it revolves more around what the government is doing. The healthcare industry is bigger than the healthcare system. Why do I say so? The system revolves, okay, the Ministry of Health is there, the National Health Act is there, what's it called? The Council of Health, National Council of Health is there. That's the Minister of Health and the Commissioner for Health of every state. They make up this National Council of Health. Then you talk about the different regulatory agencies, the Medical and Dental Council, the Nursing and Midwifery, the health institutions, medical colleges, and other. Those are part of the health system, the hospitals. Do you understand? It is that broad. It is that broad, the health system. Then when you talk about the health industry, that will include the pharmacists or the people we call chemists, who are actually licensed patent medicine practitioners or patent medicine dispensers. Those people that they call nurse and doctors in remote villages that just have one shop like that with paracetamol and co. Now, they are all part of the health industry. Are you aware that the medical and the Code of Medical Ethics makes provision for traditional trado medical practitioners? That is part of the health industry. Those people who do roots and herbs. Now, in China, in Japan, they have tried to refine their trado medicine, repackage it, bringing science into it, and they are shipping them down to us here. But we have refused to refine our own, such that it is still in that local state, roots and herbs. So you don't even know what the roots are. People will just chop roots or whatever stick, put in a bottle, pour hot water, spirits, alcohol into it, and give you to be drinking. And they will say this one cures waist pain, this one cures body pain, this one cures this one. So they are part of the health industry, because the Code of Medical Ethics recognizes them. Now, before the advent of orthodox medicine, the people we call herbalists today are actually medicine men. They are healthcare practitioners. Don't you know traditional bone setters? Do you know them? That's osteopathy now. If you go to this famous hospital in Lagos, where anything they do is they chop off your leg. There are people, traditional bone setters, that anything that has to do with bone, provided they can see the fragment of the bone, they will fix it. They are in the healthcare industry. So you see how, bro, I used these crude examples to show you how far and wide-reaching the healthcare industry is. There are people who supply, during the COVID, people made millions from supplying of sanitizer, from supplying of, what's it called? Face mask. They are part of the healthcare industry. So the supply chain, okay, there are people who supply drugs. That is understandable. What about the oxygen cylinder? If you go to hospital, there is a department that is in charge of maintenance of equipment, hospital equipment. That's their department. So those equipments, the people who supply them are in the chain. They are in healthcare industry. So the issue is that there are some frontliners who everybody sees. There are those who are far behind the chain. It's not that they are not important or that they are less important. It's just that they are not that visible. They are not in your face every day. There are people who produce folders for hospital. Somebody is producing the card that they will use to write your name and write your hospital number. He's a printer, but he supplies the hospital. Your file, somebody produces it, but he supplies the hospital. I'm trying to bring things that are not directly connected to drugs and treatments. for you to see how connected. There are cleaners in the hospital. Some porters are there. They are in the healthcare industry. She's not a doctor, she's not a nurse, but the hospital has to be clean. So that is how big the healthcare industry is. Do you understand? Then the other day I shared a video of this thing, a drone delivering medical supplies. There's another video Brian sent to me. I will put it on the group. Brian, thank you very much. Is he still on the call? I think he has left. There's another video he sent to me of medical technology for patients who are maybe disabled or who can't move by reason of ailments. The machine, instead of human beings carrying you about, the machine will carry you from your bed to maybe the table. You sit, it puts you on the seat, you sit, eat your food. It carries you up again. You want to use the toilet, it carries you, you program it, it carries you to the toilet, although it is just within the room. It carries you to the toilet, use the toilet, and it carries you back. Now, what it has done is that it has saved humans time and energy. So, assuming that patient has two people, two children who are supposed to be at work, those children will be alternating, saying that their mother is sick. So today it is his turn to sleep in the hospital or to stay at home to help mama. But with that technology, mama can comfortably move from her bed to another part of the room, do whatever she wants to do, come back to her bed. Now, whoever invented that, the person is already in the healthcare industry and the business. So the healthcare business is very, very wide. It's not what we can take, even in 2 sessions, we can't cover it. Next question, please.
All right, sir. Going to the next question. The next question says, sir, you mentioned that foreigners can't get relief in Nigeria because they are not citizens. What about the duty of care?
Take that question again.
Okay, it says, sir, you mentioned that foreigners can't get relief in Nigeria because they are not citizens. What about the duty of care bestowed on medical professionals the moment they take in someone as their patient when the standard of care is not met? What happens?
Okay. Please, did anybody hear me mention that in this class today? I never said such.
No, sir.
So the person didn't hear me well. I didn't say that foreigners, I said that foreigners are already coming to Nigeria to receive treatments. However, that it is in private hospitals that this medical tourism we are talking about, Nigerians going outside to receive medical care, that foreigners are also coming to Nigeria to receive specialized care. In fact, some Nigerians abroad are coming home for fertility treatments. Some Nigerians based abroad are coming home for fertility treatments, for surrogacy. Those are medical services. Some are coming here for high-class specialized surgeries. They are coming here, but those things are happening more in private hospitals. Someone asked a question and said, is it true that there are some countries that do not care about foreigners who come into their country to receive healthcare, or that their laws do not protect foreigners when their rights are violated? And I said, I am not aware of that for now, and that I will make research to confirm the existence of such. I didn't say that Nigeria does not receive healthcare, medical tourists, so to speak. No. Nigeria treats everybody, provided you have the money. That's our own here. Provided you have the money, they will treat you. So that is it. And the challenge with our law is implementation. The law will not implement itself. So that is it. Yes.
All right, thank you very much, sir, for that.
I think there's
Okay,
another question.
yes, there's another question. The question is, sir, in case of crimes against patients during, okay, sir, in case of crimes against patients during healthcare tourism, what country has legal remedies to prosecute, legal jurisdiction to prosecute the case? Is it the country where the crime occurs or the country of the patient's citizenship?
It's the country where the crime, when you talk crime, you talk locus. Where did the event? When you talk jurisdiction, there are things that determine jurisdiction. One is location. Where did the crime take place? So if the crime took place outside Nigeria, that country has their law. The patient, the person who treated the patient is bound by the laws of that country. It's like a patient coming into Nigeria now and being treated, and the patient gets maltreated or manhandled, or there is an outright case of medical malpractice against that patient. Our laws here we apply, because that is what regulates the practice of medicine within Nigeria. Now you will notice the type of crime involved. It is not the general crime, even if it is. If a Nigerian steals from a foreigner within Nigeria, is it an American law that will apply? No. It's the Nigerian law. And if an American steals from a Nigerian within Nigeria, Nigerian law will hold him. He'll be tried under our law. So this one is commonsensical. It is the law. Ekweremadu is not a UK citizen. Do you understand? But they went to treat his daughter there, and something went wrong. He's not only a Nigerian, he has served as the vice president of the Nigerian Senate or deputy president of the Nigerian Senate. So he's the top-ranking Nigerian by all standards. But it's not Nigerian law that applied to him. Do you understand it? At least that's a clear example before us in that regard. Next question. Hello? I can't hear you.
Sorry, my mic was muted.
Okay.
Still addressing the previous question that was asked before, the one I just read.
Yes.
She said she meant legal remedies, not medical relief. So the question, okay, rephrasing the question is, sir, you mentioned that foreigners can't get legal remedies in Nigeria because they are not citizens. What about the duty of care bestowed on medical professionals?
I don't know where this person is getting this from. I couldn't have said that in today's class or previously. I have never said that at any time. Maybe you didn't hear well, please. The person can unmute and ask the question or refresh my memory, but I don't think I have mentioned legal remedies today in this class.
All right.
If a foreigner, it still boils down to Ekweremadu's case. If a foreigner comes to Nigeria for treatment and he is not treated right, or there are cases of violation or medical negligence, if the foreigner sues, you see, remedies don't fall on people. Remedies, I will use it loosely. Remedies is not anointing. Yes. Remedies don't fall on people. You ask for it. The court is not Father Christmas. You know, most time people complain, the court did this, nothing happened, nothing happened. In fact, this afternoon, I read something on our lawyers forum, a lawyers group on Facebook. A senior lawyer made a post and said the rate of medical negligence in Nigeria is becoming alarming. This. Another lawyer responded, yes, they always shield themselves. Before you could say anything, they will clean the file. Those are assumptions. Yes, it could happen in some cases. But because of that assumption, the person will not even make a move to ask or seek redress. Seeking redress in medical negligence cases requires expertise. It requires knowledge, the right knowledge and information. So if anybody, whether you are a Nigerian or not, if you have a case of medical negligence and you do not file a case, nothing will happen. Okay, a clear example. How many of you have gone to check the case of the lady I talked about that was rejected at a hospital in Abuja? Now, that particular case, the friends or colleagues of the lady, they approached me to handle that case. And I told them how to go about it, what should be done, what should be done. Firstly, I said, I need to get in touch with the family so that it's not when we get midway, they will back off and say, we didn't send you. Because the people who approached me, they say she's a member of their association. And I said, okay, where is her family? Connect me to her family. I need to speak with a member of her family to be sure that they're authorizing this, one. Two, they say, okay, we don't want any monetary issue. We just want to sensitize Nigerians so that this doesn't happen again. The issue of not treating, the issue of rejecting patients should not happen again. I say no. Why that is one side, the law has made provision for compensation. If we press charges, we can get monetary compensation for the family. This girl was working, providing money for her family and all that. So they should be compensated. Then they said they will get back to me. Later they called me, they say some lawyers have taken the case pro bono. But they still want me because someone recommended me and they want me to handle the case. I say, fine, I can handle the case. Then they now say, this other person has said they are taking it pro bono. We wouldn't like you to come and mention money. You see, it will be somehow. If you do, I'm a lawyer, I'm a professional. Now, and I told them, well, if people have said they are going to do pro bono, give them to do. I pray they do the right thing, but give them. To the best of my knowledge, no case has been filed. Rather, in excitement, they pursued a laudable campaign. I must give it to them, which is social media, get attention, pressing, pushing, getting the government's attention. And as we speak, a committee has been set up to investigate that matter. But a committee is not a court. So they are excited. Yes, we have gotten something. The government has set up a committee. A committee is investigating it. Yes. In fact, the Minister of Women Affairs went the other day to the hospital. They say, Madam, the committee has been set up. She now went to the the place, the sitting of the committee. Say, how can you people set a committee? This lady is a woman. I have a duty to protect her interest. Yes, or the lady was a woman. I have a duty. In fact, I am now a member of the committee. Fine and good. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, a committee is not a court of law. Let it enter your head. If at the end of the day, the committee comes out and says the hospital is not liable, the hospital is saying they have footage to show that the lady was brought in dead. If the hospital succeeds in showing their video evidence, we have a CCTV footage that she was brought in dead. If the hospital shows that and the committee resolves that the hospital is not liable, that's the end of the case. Is it not? Everybody goes home. Now, at that point, all these friends and families and relatives and sympathizers, what they will shout is, the government did nothing. The court did nothing. In fact, the hospital, they have been bribed. They will cook up all allegations, but nobody approached the court. Do you get the point I'm making? Now, assuming a case has been filed and the hospital says, yes, we have a CCTV footage to show that the lady was brought in dead, and they play the CCTV footage, there is a procedure to confirm that somebody has died. So we will watch the CCTV footage. Then we will check whether the hospital protocol of certifying somebody dead was followed. Do you get it? So if at that point, it is for the people saying, no, this lady was alive, he who alleges must prove to show that the lady was alive. Then the people who said, no, she was brought in dead, to show that she was dead. If she was dead, who issued the death certificate? Did you check her pulse? So, of course, the video will show that, okay, this lady was brought in. The video will show when they carried her from the car to the hospital, into the hospital. The video will show that she was inside the hospital, at least if the CCTV captures them going in, because the CCTV is probably outside. So if it captures people going in and it doesn't show them coming out in the next 5 minutes, we may not know what activity is going on inside, but it has shown us that they have been inside for 5 minutes. If the hospital now comes out and says, at this time we were examining her. So the point I'm making is, they have not gone to hospital, but they are expecting maybe compensation. Even if the government, the committee comes out and says, okay, the hospital is liable. At that point, does the committee have the power to say, okay, we are compensating this family with 5 million, with 10 million? Is that 10 million adequate compensation for the life of an adult who is a breadwinner for her family? So do you understand? When it comes to issue of seeking redress in medical law cases, it takes expertise, it takes knowledge. It is not your everyday fundamental human rights enforcement. No, it is a specialized area of practice. Okay. Does that answer the question?
Yes, I believe it does, sir. Okay, we're going to the last question. And I think it's a continuation of the first question, the earlier question that was asked. And it says, what are the circumstances under which a patient's home country can extradite extradite the patients and try them for a crime that was committed while abroad?
Repeat the question.
Okay, it says, what are the circumstances under which a patient's home country can extradite the patients and try them for a crime that was committed while abroad?
It is still not okay. What are the circumstances under which a patient?
Yes, can be extra. Okay, or you want to ask
The
it?
question is not properly framed. That's the point I'm making.
Sir, I was the one that asked the question. I'm
Okay,
just
ask
trying
your
to,
question.
there are exceptions. Since you said that the patient must be tried where the crime is committed, the jurisdiction where the crime is committed, are there exceptions when the patient's country can extradite the patient and try the patient? Are there any such exceptions?
Okay, now, let's assume now that beyond the patient came into the country under the guise of medical tourism. Or that the patient is actually requires that medical tourism. But the patient is now linked to an international crime, maybe terrorism, for example. Maybe, how do I put it now? Yeah, maybe let me use terrorism, for example. The patient can be extradited. But before that, his country and the host country must have bilateral agreement in that regard. His country, the patient's original country, and the host country must have bilateral agreements for extradition. Do you get it? So the fact that a patient came he came to this country to receive medical treatments, that is not an immunity for a crime. That you came here. If you came to Nigeria to receive medical treatments, remain in your hospital, receive your medical treatments, and go. But if you come into Nigeria under the guise of medical treatments, and you are now beginning to network, supply information against the Nigerian government, or to cause a coup, or to cause, do you understand? If you come for medical treatments, and that is what brought you, fine and good. But while you are in the hospital, while you are going about receiving your medical care, abide by the rules and regulation of the country. If you are found to have link with other criminal organizations that are wanted global and you are apprehended, if provided there's a bilateral agreement, you'll be extradited if your country calls for you. Or even if you had committed a crime in your own country, or you are wanted in your country, not even that you have committed a crime here. You are a wanted man in your country, and you now run to another country for treatments. While you are there, if your country calls for you, and there is a bilateral agreement to that effect between both countries, once the right things are done, you'll be extradited. So that you came for medical treatment or medical tourism is not immunity from criminal trial. Does it make sense? It's okay. Any other question?
Okay, I think I will just ask my own question and maybe we'll call it a close for class. My question is, and Sais, to just get your opinion. We said how that a lot of Nigerians travel abroad to go as part of medical tourism to seek treatments and the likes. If a case occurs where we fix our system, we fix our hospitals, I believe there's this general mindset that Nigerians have that things are better abroad. How would you advise or what structures do you feel we should put in place, right, to change the minds of Nigerians that the Nigerian medical system, right, is now well equipped? That is when we have done
Okay.
the right.
Maybe three things. Three steps. Step number one, fix the medical system. When you have fixed it, by fixing the system, I mean not just painting the hospitals, but putting modern equipment, one. Two, improving the standard and condition of work of the healthcare practitioners, including their salaries, their remuneration. Three, these are still on fixing the system, flushing out quacks and ensuring that qualified personnel are there. So there have been cases of hospitals where people who are not qualified, not that they are not qualified, certification they are qualified, but they don't have the know-how. But because they are son or daughter of somebody who knows somebody that knows somebody that knows another person, then they will be engaged. So if you fix the system to this extent, you have done step one. Step two is sensitization. That before sensitization, step two is that our high-ranking government officials, starting from the president, should begin to use. Why is everybody's video off? We only have two people in the class now.
I don't know. It seems others are having network issues, but I'm not sure why. Why they are.
So, step one, fix the system. Step two, let our government officials, starting from the president, begin to use the system that they have fixed. So, if you fix State House Clinic, the clinic in Aso Rock, let the president, let his family, let the ministers, let whoever begin to use it. If you have fixed the general hospital in the states, you have fixed the hospital in the government house, let the governor begin to use it. Let our senators begin to go to Maitama Hospital, go to Gwagwalada, go to National Hospital. I'm not talking about private hospitals, no. The government hospitals that have been fixed, let them begin to use it. That will repose confidence. That will show that we trust what we have done here. So we have invested money here. This hospital is up to standard, so we trust it, we can use it. Then step three is sensitization. The National Orientation Agency is there to begin to sensitize Nigerians. Our hospitals are better now. Our president is even using the hospital. Our governor is even using the hospital. Our commissioner is using the hospital. Our senators are using our hospitals. So those are the three steps. Step one, fix it. Step two, let our high-ranking politicians begin to use it. Because we have been fixing before now and they are not using it because they don't trust it. So if they begin to use it, it means that they trust the system. Then if they trust it, we should also trust it. Those are the three steps. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering that question. In the absence of any other question, I think we'll be drawing the curtain on class for today. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us all through from week one down to this fifth week. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you, sir.
How many more classes do we have?
Okay.
Thank you.
For health tech, for this Sunday weekly classes, we are not having any other. The two other classes, we have 2 weeks left to go. The two others that are left to go are combined classes for capital generation and another on intellectual property.
Wait, are you saying this is my last class?
Yes, sir, it is.
And I have only 2 students in my class as far as I'm concerned. No, these are the only 2 people that we graduate to. You are shouting away. What are you saying? Odinaka, what are you saying?
Sir, I'm saying that it might be network issues.
Okay, what about those that didn't attend at all?
So, but they've
With
been
the exception
attending
of the
other
person
class.
who obtained permission.
Sir?
There was
And what about those that were not
excuse.
around last week?
So I was
You
not
people
even
have
around.
not been signing my feedback form. Dennis, what's the problem?
Okay, well, I'm here to draw a conclusion with other members of team. We are still working on that, sir. We will send
Okay.
the feedback, sir, once we are able to draw a conclusion, sir.
Okay.
Come to
It's okay. So, all the best. Glad to know that we have come to the end of the session. You people, you have my number. If there are issues, you let me know. We can explain it. You made an application. Don't worry. We saw your application and we attend to you at the right time. Don't worry. It's okay. All the best. It's sad that I will see this set again. I look forward to the next set of students in January. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much,
Ifunanya,
sir.
which school are you?
Thank you, sir. Sir?
No, Ifunanya. What are you studying?
I'm studying law, sir.
Uh-oh. So how come I've not been answering you? I didn't know you are a lawyer. What level?
I'm in my final year.
Okay. What are you writing on? Is there anybody writing on medical law?
I am. It has not yet
You
been
are?
approved, but
Okay,
I
that's good.
submitted.
So what's your project topic?
One of them is an appraisal of euthanasia in Nigeria. Then the other
Appraisal of
is
what?
euthanasia in Nigeria.
Okay, euthanasia. Okay.
Then the other
the
is
second one is what?
the other is medical malpractice in Nigeria, and a critical analysis of medical malpractice in Nigeria.
Medical malpractice in Nigeria, critical analysis of what?
Medical malpractice in Nigeria.
Critical analysis of what now? Or it's just medical malpractice in Nigeria?
Sorry, if we cannot hear you. Yes, we cannot hear you.
I said a critical analysis of medical malpractice in Nigeria.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Are you still with us? Okay. I think Mr. Ebenezer has network issue. Okay. It seems he's no longer on call. I think we'll just draw a curtain on class here. Any other information, I'm sure you can reach out to him. He's also on the WhatsApp group. His name is there, so you can just reach out to him. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please fill the attendance. Some people don't fill the attendance. I don't know, they attend class, but they don't fill the attendance. Please make sure that after every class, you make sure you fill the attendance. We'll take the attendance very serious. We'll be looking at it and then considering it for those that will be given certificates. That is if they meet the requirements that we set up. Okay, Mr. Ebenezer is back with us. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello. Hello, Mr. Ebenezer.
Yes, I think there was a network challenge. I just want to help her. Were you hearing me? Or the team got frozen? I wasn't hearing her.
Okay.
If Naya, were you hearing me? You said medical malpractice in Nigeria and a critical analysis of what?
I said a critical analysis of medical malpractice in Nigeria.
Okay, send the text, send me your project topics. Wow. What's the problem? This thing is freezing. Can anyone hear me? Okay.
Yes.
To end the class, if Naya, send me your project topic. Anyone that is approved, any one of them that is approved, we should be able to assist you with materials. If the one in euthanasia is approved, I have the first professor of euthanasia in Africa, Professor Nick Bidon. I will connect you to him.
Yes, sir.
So he will give you.
Thank you very much, sir.
All the materials you need in euthanasia approved. Medical malpractice in Nigeria. I will assist you with materials in that regard.
Thank you, sir.
If the second one is approved, medical malpractice in Nigeria, I will assist you with materials in that regard. So congratulations. At least that's one of your benefits for attending this training. So.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for choosing to help.
Odinaka, which level are you?
I'm in 500 level.
What are you writing on?
I'm writing on rape and defilement.
Okay, criminal law,
yes,
human rights. Okay, you should be able to have enough materials.
Yes, sir.
Why are you laughing? Yes, the materials are everywhere.
Yes, sir.
Medical law, they don't have enough material, particularly local materials, indigenous materials. That's one. Two, the few that are available, some people don't even know how to access them. So they depend more on foreign contents. But if you want to give your project, okay, she say medical malpractice in Nigeria. So she will need Nigerian materials, and the materials are not like readily available like your own topic. So
hello, sir.
I wish you people all the best, but if you need any assistance, you have my phone number. You can ask questions.
Thank
Just send
you,
it.
sir.
All right, thank you.
I will respond. If I don't respond immediately,
thank you, sir.
It has been an awesome time. I feel today's class has an end. Thank you very much for it. All the best. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye, everyone. Next class.
Yes,